Heya. How's everyone? I do apologize for being late, but I'm always seeming to apologize for being late because I'm always late. But in all fairness, it's been a really rough day, last couple days, and I was reorganizing my whole house, my living room, my dining room, my foyer, rearranging herbs, adding new bookshelves, all that fun stuff. So I do apologize. No excuse, but Oh, and then I had to had to charge my phone. So hopefully I can get everything to you guys as quickly as possible. I got 49% battery left. And it was at like 13. So I had to hurry up and charge. So another reason why I'm about 15 minutes behind schedule. Hey everyone. Oh, people are popping out. Okay. Again, I am so sorry I'm behind. And I do apologize for pushing it back because it was supposed to be earlier in the week. So thank you for working with me. So yeah. Is everyone ready? Okay, so I will give a small disclaimer. And I'm going to give this disclaimer for the sole purpose of, because of the topic I am going to be talking about, not everyone is going to approve of what I have to say. Not everyone is going to understand what I'm going to say, so I will give this disclaimer now. Tonight, on this live, I am going to be talking about Asmodeus, okay? He is a demon. So therefore, we will be talking about demon workings, all right? The demon of lust, the king of lust, the king of vengeance. It is not a topic for the faint of heart. If you do not want to learn or hear about demons, and I mean dark, evil, sadistic, serpent-like, three-headed type of beasts, it is okay for you to step out of this live right now. My feelings will not be hurt. It is not a topic for the faint of heart. It's not a topic of someone who does not want to mess with them, as in they prefer the lighter side of things. That is completely fine and totally optional. This is that month where, some people are just not comfortable with it, and that's okay, okay? So I promise this topic, if you do not want to know about any type of demon, especially a lust demon, it is okay to step away from this live, I promise, okay? So I'm just going to give a couple seconds, compose myself after everything, but I'm feeling good, so that's a good thing. And we're going to talk about Asmodeus, okay? So I'm just going to let pop. Hey, Serenity. Hey, doll. Perfect, Ronnie. Like I said, this topic is not for everyone. Not everyone feels comfortable working with demons, learning about demons, or even, hearing about demons, because not everyone sees demons in a workable form. They just go, that's darkness. It's not part of my practice. It's kind of like, not going to mess with something I don't understand or don't want to, and that's fine. Then there's other ones like me who's like, I'm stupid, so let's play. That's me. I'm that one. Like, let's test the limits, shall we? Let's test my abilities, shall we? And I know, I know there are people out there just like me that's just like, I got this. Yeah. And then you meet the demon, you're like, yeah, I don't got this. Fuck, I don't got this. And then you're stuck with them because they're like, hey, you made it. And that is how Asmodeus became one of the demons I actually work with. So shall we get started? So there's a little quote that's Asmodeus related, but I like it, and I thought you guys would like it really too, or would really like it as well. But it's, let lust consume their minds to burn together in hell for all of eternity. So one of the biggest things about Asmodeus, guys, all right, is Asmodeus is a demon. He is also so high ranking that he, don't mind me, my finger is like, it's jabbing me. He falls right under Lucifer, or as some people depict Lucifer as being Satan. So he falls literally right underneath him. He is part of the 7 princes of hell. He falls under the 7 kings of hell. He also falls under the 7 deadly sins. So the princes of the 7 deadly sins. He has so many titles, okay? We all know the 7 deadly sins, right? Gluttony, lust, wrath, pride, so on, okay? He's, of course, lust. No surprise there. We already knew he was a demon of lust. He's the king of lust, but he's also the king of vengeance. He's in some depictions, he's also a luxury demon. He's also a demon that likes to work with vengeance. He's also sometimes depicted as a warlike. Now, here's the thing, though. Asmodeus, in every text I've ever read or, figured out, says that he actually rather run away from a battle or a huge major confrontation, and he would rather hide behind the women that he has manipulated and made his, okay? Then there's other texts that says he doesn't have anything to do with war. He just doesn't put himself in that situation, and he'd rather just be in that sexual pleasure red room style, okay? If you know what I mean. Just let me read the comments. I think of them as a dark protector. Sometimes, like, we have a good and bad protector per se. Oh, for sure. That whole, thing of you have an angel on one side and a demon on the other. Angel tells you one thing. Demon kind of, depicts you, saying, hey, listen to this way. That's a real fucking thing. Excuse my language. But that's a real thing. Because angels and demons, and I'm slightly off track, but I'm not really, because it's going to turn back, I promise. But angels and demons have their own style stuff. So angels are very, what I consider, militant. They got structure. It's this way. It's God's way, okay? It's the higher being's way, and we're not going to, waver from it. You do as you're told. You enjoy how it was given to you. There is no what you want. Where a demon on the other side is opposite, and it's, well, why can't I have what I want? Why can't I get it that way? Why do I have to follow orders completely? Why can't I do it this way? Same end result, but a little different. So that's how, in my mind, has always been depicted of that whole angel on one side, demon on the other. It's just like that. That's how I think of it, especially when I started learning how angels really are personality-wise. And then I started realizing, because I went to the church. I did the church thing. I heard the stories, the different stories. And then I started reading other cultures' stories, and they all revolve around, one is you do what you're told. And if you don't, you're going to lose your life. And then the other one's I'm going to make it my way. I'm gonna figure it out my way, and it's still gonna have the same end result, but it's gonna be my way. My personal preference. Remember, these lives are all based on our personal preferences, guys. So, oh, for sure, he definitely was an angel. Yes. So, in all texts, Asmodeus was an angel to start, and then fell and became a demon. But Asmodeus falls under the Goetia demons. So if you want to do some more extra research, look for Goetia demons, the 72 legions, or 72 Goetias. Those are the books you want to look in, and those are where you'll find Asmodeus as the king, the 7 deadly sins type of demon, okay? Now, appearance, big thing. There's been so many texts that I've read over the 6-7 years that I've studied demonology, and every single one is different. So if you want to look at old depiction, okay? Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Okay, I didn't have to sneeze. So if you go on old text, Asmodeus is depicted as having 3 heads, okay? One as a bull, one as a man, one as a ram, okay? Then he has the tail of a serpent and breathes fire. That's his old text. Oh, thanks. But that's his old text. That's what he's depicted of back in the day. Then there's others depicting him as having demonic wings, molten face, very ugly, very monstrous looking form. Always has a serpent or a dragon's tail in some form. Then there's other text that says he is depicted, you know, monstrous looking in a form, no tail, but that's because he rides. Now, check this out. This is really funny too, because I'm a Leo, so I'm a lion, right? I follow, you know, my sun sign at least is a Leo. So he rides on the back of a lion with dragon wings and a dragon tail. Isn't that cool? Like, I always thought that was cool. So, and I hope I said that right. I'm pretty sure I did. Because I love lions, and dragons, of course, is my thing. But that is how he's, you know, that's what he rides in some other texts. You know, like Judaism, Christianity, Babylonian. Okay, there's just so many. Babylonian and Mesopotamian is a whole nother myth, too. Like, because, so technically, Asmodeus marries Lilith after Solomon does. So after Solomon does his little shit that he does, he actually marries Lilith. Another reason why I work with him. Marries Lilith, has more spawn. Sometimes they say that one of his children is Asmodeus. But then a lot of people are sitting there say that Asmodeus is Asmodeus because it is his clone. It's not actually his son, but it's his clone, but yet it came from Lilith, who's a succubus, all that. So there's so many different texts. I prefer Mesopotamian and Babylonian in my personal preference, but I do appreciate, like, there's a lot of tarot decks that are all based on 72 demons, because 72 tarot, right? And if you look at the cards, and I wish I had them because I got rid of them because I didn't like them. I had a bad connection with them, but I have an artwork connection. So that's my problem. It's not that I don't connect with the demon decks, but I don't connect with the artwork sometimes. But hey, Beth! But there are a lot of demon tarot. There was another deck too, had it too. And if you look for Asmodeus, you will find it. Sometimes you'll even have a couple decks that has Asmodeus and Asmodee, which, like I said, they always say he's the clone of Asmodeus, but at other times they also say it's his son. So it kind of, you know, it just depends. Sereny says, the old depiction also sounds like the angel who has a bull head and a head of a ram and a man. I think he sounds familiar to that angel. Almost likely. I don't work with angels, so I don't know much. But now you have me intrigued, so I'm definitely going to have to go look and see if it is. I wonder if my notes has anything. I don't remember writing anything about no angel work when I was doing extra research. But yeah, you definitely have me. I'm gonna have to take a look. I'm just looking to make sure, because like I said, I always do extra research, and I have so many Goetia books that I always write extra stuff. Because, like, when you do research, you pick and choose which you want to remember. Angel work, unfortunately, is not one of them. But I have a lot of issues. Oh, I know. Kathy told me. Yeah, you have that tarot, the demonic tarot, but actually acts like an oracle deck, which is really cool about that deck. Brittany, I know it's off topic, but how bad did your eyebrow piercing hurt? Oh, not at all. I have so many tattoos. I have rib tattoos. I have both sides of my rib cages from my ribs all the way down to my hips done. I got my shoulder blade, my back done. I have right on my calves. The worst part was actually like tattoos there, but as far as piercings, I've had my eyebrow done. I've actually had both sides done, but that one, because of the way I wear my hair, I took that one out. I had my nape done. I had my nape done. I had my bridge done. I had nose. I had my clavicles done, which I don't know if you can see them, but I'm scarred because they all migrated outwards. You might not be able to see them. but I've had a lot of piercings. So this is like nothing compared to a lot of them. I had my tongue done. I had a 10 gauge in my tongue. So yeah, that, I ain't nothing. Shit. We do, Beth. We always remember what connects with us. And like right now, I'm reading a Seder book right now, which is Norse Vikings, but it's about the vulvas and the Seders because there's different, you know, depictions of them, what they represent as far as what you're called as a witch in Norse Python. So yeah, like I pick and choose what I want to remember and how I want to work it into my practice. And I love that about being a witch, or in my case now, a vulva, because that's not what I call myself. Get it done. I won't do dermals, but that's only because where I work, I can't take dermals out. I could take this out every day though. Okay, let me jump back in. So, let's see. I said a lot already, didn't I, guys? Okay, so personality. I'm gonna read a few different depictions of personality, but let me give you my depiction before I read any book form of depiction, okay, personality-wise. So Asmodeus, he's arrogant, okay? He does not like men at all. He actually hates men, but the messed up thing is not only is he, oh no, he in my workings, he hates men. He has an affiliation with Raphael, pretty hardcore, but I'll get into that here in a little bit. But he loves Lilith, like still in love with her. Everything is about Lilith, but Lilith likes women as well. So if you do any type of sex magic or sexual rituals or anything, and you want to use your lovemaking and your sex, even if it's just for like on yourself, use that, what you're doing, as an offering to him. That's what he depicts. You can leave so many things on an altar. You can create an altar for him, which I highly recommend if you start working with him. But the best thing to do, like as an offering, is to make love. Whether it's just with yourself or with a couple or with someone else, even if it's a threesome. If you're a swinger, it doesn't matter, okay? You can literally make that into a ritual and give offering to him. So definitely, definitely one of the best ways to give an offering to him, and you don't have to really do all the extra stuff. You don't need any of the aesthetic stuff. Does that make sense? What was I saying? Oh, personality. My personality for him. So, like I said, he's very arrogant. He does not like men. He loves working with females. He can be very manipulating. He will be, especially if you're working on the like vengeful side of him, because he can be cruel. And he can be so cruel that he doesn't mean to make you feel inadequate, like you're not doing enough. Like if you're using like sex as an offering, he will get offended if you're not really trying and like working with it. Hey, mama. But he'll get offended. So you have to put everything, like working with Asmodeus is working with a deity or a deity, okay? You have to put in the time every single day. You have to put in the work. He's not a once in a blue moon type of being. So I will say this as a disclaimer. If you are not going to put in the time to physically work with him, I don't recommend doing it, because yes, he's the love lust, but what he gives, he can take away too. Okay. So if you're always loving to have sex and stuff, he'll take that away from you where you don't want to have sex anymore. You don't want to make love. You just, it's not something you want. Now, if it's something you've been missing and you start to work with him to get it back, there you go. He's the demon to work with on that. He will amp up your drive, okay? You will see him in your dreams. Does that make sense? He will come to you. So like you ever, okay, this is going totally like left field, but it might paint a better picture. So, like, you know those demons that you see in the movies where, which there's a new TV show, Witches of something, but it's a perfect depiction of it. But anyways, if you see him in the movies and, like, this woman is having sex with a demon, but then they'll show where it's just her, like, having sex with nothing, but she's having sex with something. That's what it's like working with Asmodeus sometimes. Okay? Hope I said that right. Kind of threw me off when I was like, huh? But did I make sense? Someone tell me if that made sense to you guys, because I want to make sure I'm not, confusing you guys. But, like, he's that kind, like, yeah, he's that one of those. Mom, close your ears. You didn't hear any of this from your daughter today. All right, so that's my depiction of him. Like I said, he's very cruel. He's very arrogant. He's one that you kind of got to, like, you got to pull the dominance on him. You cannot always be submissive. Or else he will run you over manipulation-wise. You have to be very strong on your commands, very like, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I need you to help me with. Are you ready? Are you going to help me or not? Don't give him a little open-ended kind of question. It's either yes, okay, I will work with you, I like it. You don't want to leave it open because then he finds fault in that. So when you start working with him, if you choose, start with his wisdom character. Start with how, because technically, actually, he is a god that is very full of wisdom. And I mean just as much wisdom as Odin is, but in the demon realm. He has wisdom to give. Ask him the wisdom, but don't just ask him anything. All right, keep it related to, let me give you some examples. Keep it related to passion, sex things, all right? Inner strength, devotion, dedication, compassion, destruction, desires, willpower, and anything that revolves around, like, matters of the heart, okay? So when you ask wisdom, keep it around those types of themes, not just, so do you think, like, if I play this lottery, I'll win? Here's the messy thing. He is about casinos. He is about winning things. He's a gambler. He is a god of those too. But he's not going to say, oh yeah, play these numbers. No. He wants you to enjoy the gambling. He wants you to enjoy the games that come with it. It's not just, hey, I'm going to give you the winnings. It's, hey, I want to make sure you spend your money, but you're going to have fun doing it. Okay, he's one of those type of gamblers. Anyone have any questions back? Correct, so don't give him options. He will take it and twist it and manipulate it. So if you want to win someone's heart's desire, okay? Like I said, we're going a little bit of forbidden magic in some people's minds. If you are working, if you're trying to get someone to fall in love with you and you're doing a spell, you add ritual, you call him to your practice, you're asking for his assistance, his power, his energy, however you want to manifest and use him, okay? You want to have your intention 100%, there's no wavering. It's, I want so-and-so to fall in love with me. And I'm going to make this tea for him because he's going to come over tonight. I want this tea to be energized with your energy. The god of lust, the god of sex, the god of passion. Give no doubt, no wavering or anything like that. Keep it strong and dedicated. Yes, he rules the gambling halls in hell. Yes, he sure fucking does. There I go swearing again. Yes, he does. But, and then it also depends on which depiction, because some say that he's held up in a castle where he has 72 ladies all around him, having a massive orgy pretty much. Then there's others that he is running the gambling halls of hell. So just depends on your depiction, or I should say your myths that you want to run with. I'm gonna take a sip real quick. Oh, keeping me on my toes today. Okay. Okay, so you remember how we were talking about earlier, how we have an angel on one side and a demon on the other side? So we're going to call the demon, of course, Asmodeus. His polar opposite is actually Gabriel. Gabriel. Did I say that right? Gabriel. What are you doing? go sit down. Is Gabriel, which is the angel of chastity, if I'm saying this correctly. So they're the like arch enemies of each other. Just to kind of give you a little something. Come on, honey, I'm alive, honey. All right, baby, go sit down and watch your play your game. So let me give you like little associations and stuff like that. So he has a bunch of alias names, but let me give you Kipple. Hey! I'm live. Quit. I'm live. I don't care. What does that have to do with anything? I did say 9. Go. You and I have been button heads today. Please go. Whatever that is, you better go straight upstairs. And don't forget my flip-flops to bring them back down. Because they are mine. Mr. 30 degrees and no socks on your feet. And no hoodie on. Okay. Whew. Alright, so some alias names. So Asmodeus, like we already said earlier, Askir, really? Asha, Asmodeus, Saturn, Demon of Wrath, Demon of Friendzone that was given to him by Gabriel. Let's see. Ashamada, Asmodeus. There's so many different names and depictions of him. So he is one of the 7 princes of hell, lust. He is affiliated with hell itself, of course. I already read a bunch of different like rulerships, which is really good to call in. So let's see. So he's a fallen angel turned demon. He is gender titled as male. His relatives, of course, we know is God. He has many siblings. He is the spirit of lust and wrath. Now, here's the depiction. So if you're working with him in, oh my gosh, in Hebrew, is it Hebrew? I think it's Hebrew. He is depicted as being an air element, okay? But in Mesopotamian, he is depicted as a fire element due to the fact that most of his depictions, there is dragon energy within him, very, fiery type of power. So he rules the northern quarters. So if you use him, always sit or have your workings in the north direction, representing the fire element. If you want to follow the Hebrew side, then depict him in the air element. Ranked king. Colors are black, red, and silver. What he can do for you. So gaining inner strengths of all kinds, of course. Creating compassion between foes and friends. He can do protection things. He can destroy abusers, justify revenge, connect with your sexuality, become adept at emotional pressure, overcoming obstacles, and anything love and sex related in all forms, especially of matters of the heart. I said a lot of this already, so I'm just making sure. Okay, so I told you about his 3 heads, okay? What he looks like nowadays is how modern witches that want to work with him, this is how they depict him now. Thought this was very entertaining because heaven forbid we look at a demon demonic-like. Heaven forbid we look at a demon that has 3 heads or that has the body of a bee and butterfly wings, but yet a ghastly boar face or something. If you work with demons, you'll know which ones I'm talking about then. But like, heaven forbid you work in demonology and they don't look like a fucking human. So here's the nowadays, let's make everything fucking humanized, because that's what reality really is. So nowadays, a strong and attractive man with shoulder-length black hair, fiery orangish yellow eyes, burning like embers, black draconic wings, and ram horns. When angered, his hair catches in flames and burns and becomes short, blazing like ember. His horns become more predominant and his eyes even more fiery. He goes into battle with his staff and sword, but sometimes with a mace. A dragon he is sometimes seen riding as his trusted friend from the ages ago. Yeah, no, you mean the lion with the dragon wings and the dragon tail. That's his trusty history spirit animal or partner or, you know, familiar as we call it. Best friend, okay? Every demon's got to have a demonic best friend. My nose itches, I'm sorry. He can also appear as a bull or a ram. His traditional art, which shows him as having 3 heads, which we already know this, would help symbolize that he can be a bull or a ram. But think, like, honestly, how I just read that, okay? Why do we have to humanize everything? Why does he have to be hot and sexy and so amazing? Like, oh, swoon-worthy. Why? Why do we have to depict it like that? Like, why can't he have the 3 heads? Why can't one be, you know, the ram? Why can't one be, you know, the bull? Why can't one be just an ugly-ass human head? Like, all 3. Why? I think Souls is my favorite one because he's an owl and human ears. And he dive deeper into research. Yeah, for sure. Stolas is really good. But see, I'm not one for the whole reality type of depiction. Like, is it nice to kind of like, you know, read a fantasy book and, you know, have that hot, sexy guy that's trying to win the love of the life, you know, sword play, blah, blah, blah. Sure. But when it's workings, I want to know what I'm working with. I want them to know that I don't mind their appearance. I accept their appearance because to them, I might be the ugly one. I might be the scary one. You know what I mean? Like, why does it always have to be a humanized? Like, why is it we're the pretty ones? Like, who said humans were pretty? Angels technically aren't always depicted as being pretty. Demons aren't and should never be depicted as being pretty. Okay? Now, if they are a shapeshifter, if they transition into looking like someone else, okay, I will give that to you because that is part of their magic. That is part of who they are. That is what they do. But you got a demon that has nothing to do with, you know, shape-shifting whatsoever, but yet you're going to humanize it to long flowing back hair, ember eyes, burn like fire. Get the hell out of here. Just admit that he's got 3 heads and he's ugly as fuck. But yet he can command some women, and he does. For sure. For sure. Hey! Don't mind me, I'm just on my little rant of demons here. Let me just readjust my knee. My knee is all over the place. Okay. Alright, so jumping back on the personality. So I gave you my depiction of personality. Here's some other depictions of his personality in text, okay? Before his fall, Asmodeus was a fair and benevolent angel like most celestials, which he did until he had a relationship with the archangel, Raphael. However, after his fall, he became evil, lustful, and very evil entity-based. This position that required a great deal of cunning and cruelty to obtain was granted to him in the title, and one of the titles of the Seven Princes of Hell. Asmodeus, of course, specializes in lust. In some cases, he fans the flames of lust. And then there's like a couple different examples, like what there's connection to Solomon's wife. How do you say that? Bathsheba, and may have been responsible for amplifying her infamous sex appeal. And then, of course, the story of Lilith that I, already told you earlier about, how technically he is one of the husbands of Lilith. Let's see. We already talked about how he's a gambler, likes gambling. He does delight in revenge. They say that and I've never seen this, but they do say that Asmodeus was given a more lighthearted and playful personality. He was fond of game of dice, and he didn't have evil intentions that would be expected of one of the seven princes of hell. Again, I don't agree with that, but that is people's depiction of him, personality based, and I completely understand. It's no biggie. He's got that swag. Let's see. Okay, so think of it this way. So like Asmodeus is really like strong of heart. He really holds a really great deal of wisdom. So like I said, if it goes around, desires and, destruction, what were the other ones I gave you guys earlier? Protection, compassion, willpower, matters of the heart, inner strength, valor too. There's that one. Of course, sex and passion. Then you definitely want to ask the wisdom questions there. Overall, he has a very resilient and noble attitude. He is also connected to domination. He likes to dominate a lot, so he prefers his woman very submissive. Being too submissive, I'm telling you, is going to just get you in trouble. Being too submissive means you will be manipulated. You want to still be powerful, and you want to be dominant on when you ask these questions. You want to be that dominant. If you're utilizing him in sex magic, you can then be a little bit more submissive. But watch, being too submissive, I'm telling you, it's a bad thing. Oh, yeah, he likes to... you know what? I was just going to move on to that. That was my next little bullet point. But he does. He likes to seduce women before marriage. She is dead on that. And he loves to take their virginity. So if you are a virgin, watch working with him. If you're married and all that, you ever heard of, like, reborn again virgin kind of thing? That still goes hand in hand with him. Like, he believes in being a born again virgin. So there's that too. Keep to remember that. There we go. Matters of the heart, love, lust, desires, wants. Is that correct? Destruction, valor, revenge, if you want to get on his wrathy side. But there's a reason why he wasn't named the god of wrath. There was a reason why he was given lust. So even though he does a little bit dabble on that side of things, his preferred is gambling. His preferred is willpower. His preferred is the desires, is the love, is the lust, being playful. Like, think about it, he loves to play around. Gambling, having sex, making love, kind of reminds me a little bit of Loki as far as like a trickster in a way, because he kind of gives off that vibe a little bit. So there is that too. Of course, he's not anything like the Chaos Loki, but that whole, that trickster side, like he will do it, do it to manipulate, Um, he's a master of emotions. He knows how to rapidly gain favors by playing to the emotions of crowds, masses, or even single persons. He doesn't have to lie. He simply uses emotional reasoning to appeal to people's hearts in order to be very convincing. He tends to be very kind-hearted, loyal, and passionate if you allow him after working with him some time. Let's see what else I have for you guys. Oh, I have a bunch of offering ideas too for like if you want to do an altar and all that. So I will give you that. Here's another quote I thought was really pretty. He is 100% a lover, not a fighter. Like I said, there is literally one of the myths that says that he runs away from a battle and hides behind his women, that he's like manipulated and that, you know, does his biddings and all that. But he runs behind them. So, I mean, a little bit of cowardness. But again, it depends on how you want to see him. If you want to see him as both, then you see him as both. That's what I was thinking. A bit similar to Loki. I can see that. It could, yep. Like I said, it's the, you know, the tricky side of Loki, like his trickster side, but not his complete chaos side, but definitely his tricky side. Like, I'm going to manipulate you, but we're going to have some fun doing it. Kind of like one of those. So here's a quote. I am called Asmodeus. My kids don't know what quiet means. Quiet, please. I am called Asmodeus among mortals, and my business is to plot against the newly wedded so that they may not know one another. And I sever them utterly by many calamities. And I waste away the beauty of virgin women and strain their hearts. So that definitely goes, like I said, hand in hand with what Ronnie said. And she kind of said it already for me, so there was no point to really go any further. So I really appreciate that. Saved me a little bit of my voice and battery, because I'm already down to 20%. All right, so some offerings, okay? Naturally made lemonade, pure lemons, though, squeezed with water with a dash of peppermint or spearmint. And this is a word I can never say. I call it the green fairy because I can't say its real name, but it's abstinence. You know, like the green liquor that you put a little cube on top, you light it, and then you drop it in. That stuff. The green fairy. That's what it's technically also called. Jack Daniels, any type of sweet wine, any type of spiced rum, goat meat, steak, chestnuts, pineapples, lemons, honey, orchids, sunflowers, roses, axes, swords, ivory tusks, bull horns, ram horns, carnelians, images of wildfires by the sea, anything that has black and red candles in it, any type of stones that are black and red related, honestly. If you could find, like, the, what is that stone called? Saradox? It's the one that is red and has that darker banding all throughout it. Great, by the way, for him as well. And any type of incense or resin that has vanilla in it, benzoin in it, and there was something else too, I forget. But I usually use vanilla because it's just, I don't know, it works. So he is not your typical deity, demon that he's like, I love this and I love that, and it makes total sense because of what he is. No, he goes way left field, like vanilla. Where the hell did you get vanilla from? Like, where is that a thing? He likes vanilla. Hey!
I'm not trying to make noise.
You don't need no more of that. That has way too much sugar in it.
Why did I got it in the cup?
Well, then stop stirring it, drink it, and that's it. You're not drinking anymore. I don't need you bouncing off the walls. Mom, come take your grandsons, please. Please. No. Put it away. Put the spoon in the sink.
Those are your titties.
Put the spoon in the sink, please. Please tell me I'm not the only one that goes crazy with kids. Lost me at vanilla. Try benzoin also. He likes benzoin also. But honestly, you can meditate and see if he'll like take anything else. Don't use, now here's what I learned the hard way. Don't use dragon's blood. Don't use any type of white sage. Actually, black sage is the best, or any type of mugwort to put you in that loopy state, okay? But don't use white sage, and don't use dragon's blood. And that's hard because I use dragon's blood for literally everything when it comes to protecting and energy. But you can't have that type of power. He won't pull through. Like, it's not that he can't push through that type of protectant that you're putting around. It's that he doesn't want to. He wants you to be more open to him. He wants you to have that gap. So black sage and any type of mugwort, sage sticks are really good. Mahogany obsidian is another fantastic one because it's very dark red and has the black banding as well, or black spots throughout it. So yeah, but like I said, anything that's like that in an inner as it bends the two colors into it, it's fantastic. You can tell I'm getting tired, and if I have to hear him in my kitchen one more time, I said, please, you don't need that. You've been drinking that cup without that lid. So I gave you a lot of information. So give me some feedback. What did you like? Do you have any questions for me? Please ask away if you have some questions. You always, like, I gave you a little bit of information to maybe tweak your interest. Always do your research, though. Remember, Asmodeus is a Goetia demon, so a lot of your research is going to be in the Goetia 72 demons. Have you ever dealt with something that acted like him but wasn't? So a trickster spirit sort of way. I've never felt that it was someone else or something else. I've always been very confident, but I will say this 100%. I've never been able to communicate with any type of demon the very first time I tried to communicate with that demon. It's always taken me like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times to actually make that connection. Because I'll be the first one to admit, I try, I get so excited, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna work. And then I'm sitting here like I'm thinking too much, and you know I'm trying to get images that are there and hearing things that's not there, and my mind's playing tricks on me on purpose. Because it's like, no, why are you trying to sit there and push stuff? Like, no, it doesn't work that way. So it's taken me a lot with depending, and it doesn't matter which demon. It's always taken me more than 1 or 2 for sure times to connect with whatever. Now, if it's a lesser demon of the 72, like a knight, it's not as hard, but to connect with a king that's right under Lucifer, now that's a hard one. Of course, you know how to get a hold of me, Sarah Lee. But I'm trying to think. It's telling me I got less time. Let's see. Why? Have you had any issues with something? Usually when it comes to a high ranking, it's hard to not feel like you're with royalty in a way. It's not really something I can explain. It's just, it's like you just know that it's not a trick. Now, if I didn't feel strong energy, or if I didn't just feel as confident, then I might say, yeah, something's off, something's a little much. I'm not sure if I'm making this connection right. But I haven't felt that way with Asmodeus at all, or even when I work with Lucifer either. He's definitely like, you can't miss their energy because it's so powerful that it makes me look like a freaking ant. Like, it's, them, powerful me, little ant smash. You know, it's really like there's so much power, and you just feel you're either like overly hot or you're ice cold. Because then if you want to look at the 7 layers of hell and you want to break it off that way, the lowest level is actually ice fucking cold. The highest level, as far as like what's the closer to the Earth's outer layer, is what's hot. And it goes from hot, cold, fucking cold. So it just depends, you know, like what you're working with. Now, Asmodeus sits at that heat level, but there are other deities that sit on the ice level, or other demons that sit on the ice level. I know. I am in awe that Ronnie is like spot on with me. I'm like, ooh, hey Ronnie, we're gonna talk. Because it's so hard. Like Gina, she knows a lot about Goetia too, like very specific ones. No snacks. No, not this late. You're not starving. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. So I read that he doesn't come to Middle Earth. Ooh, what? Okay, now you're intriguing me. Middle Earth. Every time someone says Middle Earth, I think of Lord of the Rings. So you're gonna fill me in what Middle Earth represents? Because I'm intrigued. And yes, they are ancient gods. But Serenity, hopefully did that. Oh, I didn't see it. You texted. Thank you for this amazing live. And no, not really. I'm actually holding off till. Oh yeah, for sure. I do not recommend working with any deities when you're pregnant. That is dead on correct. So good thinking.
So I hit my stove.
Okay. Does here not heaven here on our people realm? You mean that he's here in physical form? Because yeah, I've definitely heard the same thing. Definitely not. You will not get him in physical form. Dream realm, astral projection realms. He comes to you in your meditations, your ritual workings. I have heard, now I've never experienced this, and I am clairaudient. I've never heard that he's like whispered or spoken where you can hear him. No physical body, of course, but I've never heard anyone say, I was just walking down the street and all of a sudden I heard Asmodeus in my head. I've never heard that. But I don't know a lot of people that work with demons like I work with demons, so that's for sure. But he can come as a clone, like Asmodeus? Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions? Or they want to know anything extra? Look, I just realized my shirt has a crown on it. If not, then I am going to end it because I have like 15% of my battery. 15% of my battery left. But definitely, like I said, disclaimer, demons working is not for everyone, and it is okay if you don't want to try it. I don't recommend it for any newbie. It is an energy that you have to learn to get comfortable with. It's not one that you just bask in the light and the energy and you feel great. It's not that kind of energy working. It's definitely, it's a harder hitting type of thing. And I always recommend talking to someone. Don't be like me where you're like, oh, I don't need to, have anyone help me with anything. I don't need to ask questions. I really wish I would have asked some questions because things would have made more sense and would have been a little bit easier for me. So there's a few of us in the group that work in demonology. Please ask away. If we don't know it, we know a couple other people that do or might. And there's different styles of demonology also. I know there's one girl in the group who is phenomenal on a whole different spectrum. Hey! There's another who works with the number side of demonology. fantastic. I am so in awe by this woman. I've read some of her messages to Gina. Fan-freaking-tastic. So yeah, so there's so many different spectrums. I work with Goetia. Those are what the demons I work with. It's the ones I feel the most comfortable with because it is the very ancient style and it's more open. Turn it down, boys, please. Aw, thanks, Ronnie. Crazy thing last night, I heard someone call my name in a raspy voice, and no one was awake, and it woke me up out of a dead sleep. Off topic, but weird. No, it's not. It's not weird at all. Actually, oh, I'm so sorry. I got up really early this morning. No, that's actually funny because I actually had that happen, in my sleep, and I thought it was my husband calling me. I woke up, I hit him. I said, "What do you want?" He just looked at me like, "What the hell are you hitting me for?" And I was like, "You called my name. I heard you." He's like, "I did not call your name." And then I just kind of sat there and thought about it. And I said, well, it did not sound like my husband after I started registering it in my brain. But and like nothing was said after that. So, I mean, it could be something going on in the realm. It could be something dealing with the new moon. You know, it could be something with the planet alignment. The realms themselves can be doing something funny that we're unaware of. There could be some stirring in the demonic side, the realm that they sit. So it could be really anything. The spirit realm itself could be all messed up. I'm so glad you guys liked it. Oh, I know, me too. Me too. I need that Encyclopedia of Demons. I need that so bad, but I don't want to pay $30 or over $30 right now. Because, you know, I just, you know, yeah. I have so many books I need to get caught up anyways, but I really do need that book. Like, I need that book. If not, I'll be breaking off all of my books, and that is going to cost me a lot. It's been happening a lot recently. It's crazy. Well, it's time to stage it out of this house. Oh, that's right. You moved into a different house. There might be something there. I know. I'm going to get that book. I know I am. I think the most crazy part of it was called me my nickname that my bestie called me before he passed away, and it didn't sound like him, so it was weird. I'm not asking you, mother. No. I know how you are. It's the same shit I do to Megan. Oh, you don't... Can you just take me shopping? Next thing you know, I'm buying her a bunch of cleaning supplies and shit like this after all the crap she put me through, you know, yesterday. And I'm like, I'm gonna be that mom and I'm gonna go buy her all this shit. Yeah, I went and bought her all this shit for her apartment that she decided to tell me yesterday she was moving. Anyways, but I'm not doing that, Mom. I'm gonna get the book. It's not something I need right now, but it's just something I want. I have so many demon books. I need to get caught up anyways. But if no one has any more questions, I'm gonna head off because my phone is... I will, Ronnie. She's at work right now, but yeah, she just moved into her apartment. Tonight will be the first night she stays at her apartment by herself. And she doesn't like to be alone. Like, she gets creeped out in my house when she's by herself. Like, I took the boys camping. She doesn't do the outside camping thing. But we took the boys, so all 4 of us were gone. She was home by herself. She hates this house well, she hates being alone. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what this is when she lives in this house. Because she hasn't saged the house yet. She hasn't cleansed the house. She hasn't done any working in the house to make sure that there's nothing there. So I was like, oh, Megan, after your deep cleaning, you need to get on that. Like, hardcore on that. And she just kind of looks at me. I'm like, that's fair enough. All right, guys, I'm going to head off here. I had so much fun. Like, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about my demonology, my demon work. So I can't wait to... Maybe we'll start doing random demons. I'm going to try and get some of the other girls that are comfortable with demonology. Because, again, it's one of the touchy subjects that a lot of people don't understand or don't like. And that's totally fine. But I think, you know, if working with demons is something you need to know about. Even if you just know about it, doesn't mean you have to work with it. So, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like I said, I had a blast. This was so much fun. I needed tonight to relax and hang out with you guys. I miss you guys a lot. So yeah, have a good rest of the night. Blessed be my sisters.